Welcome to RDX Insights. I am Deepak Siddharth, founder of RDX Digital Technologies. This podcast brings real conversation with the people driving the future of textile printing, automation, and intelligent manufacturing. For our first episode, we have Steve Callagan from iSEW Digital, a leader known for bringing automation, robotics, and smart workflow into the textile industry. Today, we are discussing what's changing, what's broken, how automation will redefine factories in the next decade. Hi, Steve. Welcome.
Hi.
Let's dive in. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? How was your trip?
Very good. Very good trip. Thank you.
Okay. So, Steve, can you explain us what you do in iSEW Digital and what kind of advancements that you bring in? What is the specific part of textile manufacturing that you concentrate to automate?
Okay, we work primarily in the stitching area of the factory.
Okay.
We have designed and developed over 30 years a cross-platform technology that we can implement on various types of industrial sewing machines, where we semi-automate or automate the operation. We can do many various things with the aim to increasing the productivity,
Okay.
reducing downtime, reducing raw material usage. We design and manufacture a cross-platform technology that can be implemented on any sewing machine in the stitching part of the factory. The purpose of our semi-automation and automated products is to de-skill the operation. It's to take away the requirement for skilled labor. The way we do this is we take control of certain aspects of the sewing machine. We have predetermined settings for the machines. When we apply these predetermined settings and these predetermined sewing cycles can take place, then the factory can plan. When they can plan, they can improve efficiency and ultimately make more profit.
Right. That's the need of the moment.
Yes.
Because right now, inefficiency is the reason why textile industry is facing a huge difference when you compare with the other industries. For example, car manufacturing. Okay, car manufacturing happens even if the car is so expensive. Probably the manufacturing happens with a lot of automation and with very less number of people. But if you get into any textile factories making T-shirts, probably the value of the product is not high, but you end up having hundreds and hundreds of people working, and this is majorly due to the lack of technological advancements when compared to any other field. I think textile is lagging behind, and so when you explain that you change the stitching systems, you sell the machines or you sell components which can be integrated with the machines, which can bring this automation. How does that work actually?
Yeah, we can do both. We can either sell a complete machine. We have partners, global partners who we work with.
Okay.
We implement on their machines and sell a complete unit. We can also go into a sewing factory and we can implement our systems on existing machinery.
Okay.
The way we do this is that we do education so that the people in the factory can install the systems themselves after some training. And then we follow up with more comprehensive training to ensure that they're using the system properly.
Okay. So now you mean to say that irrespective of the brand of the stitching machine, your component can be integrated with any brand. For example, it can be a Juki or a Pegasus or Jack. So these machines with the component integration of your technology becomes more automated or semi-automated, and so this is the concept of your components.
Exactly. We have various brands you've mentioned. We've worked with all of those brands, at least their machines.
Can you name a few of them that you have already worked with?
We work very strongly with Pegasus. Pegasus have been a good partner for us over the years, and we believe Pegasus is the leader in the chain stitch market.
Okay.
So that's cover stitch machines and overlock machines. But we've also done a lot of work with Juki. We've done less work with the Jack machines. But we had a large project in a factory who had taken a Jack sewing motor to try and reduce their overheads in the factory. And we implemented our electronics directly into the jack motor so that they were able to achieve even more efficiencies and even more savings in the factory. And we implemented this across a factory with 1,000 machines, and the payback they got on the investment was in less than 6 months.
Wow. Okay. So this is very interesting because this is exactly what we are also working on at RDX in the printing field of the textile industry. So I would like to know more about, like, for example, can you explain one specific process where like your integration has helped in reducing the timing or like reducing the manpower? One practical example so that it is more easier for the audience to understand the technology, how it works.
Okay, so one of the products that we've been selling under different badges for the last 30 years is a system for helping to semi-automate the sewing of legs on ladies' briefs. And one of the problems with sewing legs on ladies' briefs is that you sew down one side and then you sew up the opposite side on the right and the left. So the problem and the challenge that factories globally, doesn't matter which country they're in, faces is that they get unbalanced seams. So one leg wants to sit up as opposed to sitting flat. The way we did this, we make individual programs by connecting to a third-party device in some cases. Sometimes we use our own, but sometimes we connect directly to a third-party device. And we're able to create individual seams for the right leg and for the left leg. And by doing this, we're able to change certain parameters of the machine, whether it be the presser foot pressure, whether it be the differential position on the machine, or the elastic tension at different zones within the seam.
Okay.
With this, we're also able to do automatic cutting at the beginning or at the end of the cycle, so we can control the exact amount of waste elastic that is being used on the garment. And we had a very successful implementation of this actually in Central America, where a very large manufacturer of underwear, making about 400 million pieces per year.
Wow. Okay.
They opened a new venture in Central America. And within 6 months of the factory opening, by taking people from the streets who didn't know how to sew, we were achieving in the modules more efficiency, less downtime, quicker style changes, less second quality work. Then the customer who bought the system, they have factories in Sri Lanka, in India, in Bangladesh, and they're not getting the same efficiency with more people. So we reduce the people in the module at the same time.
Okay, wonderful. So the reduction in the workforce as well as savings on the elastics. So it has been more efficient.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, see. In RDX machines, we actually have an option where, like, without any manual intervention or manual entering, like we take the printing data and show it to the customers. Like whenever a print is completed, we have the record from the software to the customer. So it doesn't matter if they're in the office, factory, or like elsewhere. They can always have a live report of like what's happening and what is the productivity of the machine. Because if a production manager can have access to the real-time data of the efficiency of the stitching line, it'll be very nice. So is there something, a product that you have with you which can do this?
Yeah, we've been doing different versions of this over the last 5 years. We're about to launch our latest version of this connected to our new technology, the new iSEW digital technology. We actually can take from the sewing machine the individual productivity. Within the software, we have the ability to make individual sewing lines or modules. And from there, we can cross-reference modules to see which ones are efficient, which ones have bottlenecks. And from there, as you mentioned, somebody either in the factory, in the office, or outside can see real time, do they have a problem that maybe the maintenance team need to deal with. We also have, with this new technology, we have the ability to actually upload remotely the programs for our systems. So
Okay.
we're going to be able to not only measure the data coming out of the machine, but we're also going to be able to upload new settings, new programs for different styles,
Okay.
real time, which means that the style changeover will also reduce
Okay.
and increase productivity.
Got it. So you mean to say like you can automate the missions without really going to the mission and changing the settings there. You can just do it from a centralized system where a production manager is taking care of like the calculations that it takes in number of stitches and number of amount of time that it needs to be on. And this data can be uploaded to all the stitching machines
Yes.
sitting from one system.
Correct.
Centralized.
Correct.
Okay.
It does require a certain amount of historic data to be in the system, but certainly for the different size garments, different new styles coming in, this will all be able to be uploaded to several sewing machines at the same time.
Okay, okay, that's very interesting. Okay, Steve, the next question is how do you feel countries where the labor is comparatively cheaper to adapt to these kind of advancements in technology? Because I understand the high end of automation that you do with the stitching machines and getting the metrics out of it and programming the machines to sewing machines. All these automations happen in a very developed country. But do you really find the fit for markets where the labor cost is not as expensive as the developed countries?
Yes, I think that we're seeing already in 2025, we're seeing a desire for, let's take India as an example, desire for manufacturers to utilize best practice.
Okay.
And best practice over the last 30, 40 years has really come on. And the tools are available to measure all of the things that we're talking about. The challenge, I think, for the market has always been if these technologies were only developed in Europe or in North America, then they would be expensive for the current markets.
Okay.
So I think there's a big shift, and certainly from our side, there's a big shift in developing and manufacturing, scaling some of these products actually in Asia.
Okay.
So we can compete at the stitching point.
Okay.
The best practice is required by people in these factories because the challenges are different.
Right.
When I look back at my history, I was in the UK up until 1999, and then the competition from Asia, from North Africa, became unbearable. So textile companies started to move to places like Turkey. Our management at the time decided that Turkey would face challenges at some point because they had aspirations to go into Europe.
Right.
Admittedly, we were a little bit early because the changes never happened so quickly.
Okay.
But within 8 years of me arriving in Turkey, they were under pressure in our garment industry.
Okay.
But when I look at India, now, the challenges are different. And when I say they're different, because there are many, many investments happening in India. And very recently, I was in a factory, and they had skilled labor. They've had skilled labor for the last 5 years. But then, very close proximity, a car manufacturer opened.
Okay.
And straight away, people wanted to leave the sewing factory and go
Okay.
work in a cleaner environment in a sewing,
Right.
in a car manufacturer.
Right.
So the challenges are different, and our industry traditionally, and will always be an industry that moves. So, as let's take Bangalore. As Bangalore develops more and more in technology,
Right.
it will become more and more difficult for garment manufacturers to continue manufacturing there. So you'll see a move, whether it be to the north, whether it be to the east, to the south.
Right.
But then the challenge is to get the labor, and the labor, skilled labor.
Right.
So if you're investing in, it doesn't have to be fully automation, it can be semi-automation, but anything that is going to de-skill the operations, anywhere in the factory, then you're going to have an opportunity to scale up quicker in that new area.
Yes, you're very right. Because right now, all the textile hubs in India is facing a massive labor shortage, and there is something that has to be done in this aspect, because right now India is also like in a path to for more expansion in the textile sector because of the FTAs signed with different countries, Europe, UK, and many things coming up. So when this happens, when there is more orders, then definitely I don't think there is enough workforce to cater to the global demand. So these kind of automations is not an option anymore. It's a mandatory thing for, and already I can see a lot of units going in that path of automating and bringing in robotics and having a system which is more predictable. So this is something that we are already witnessing.
Yeah.